We are back with another Savage stream. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been a crazy week so far because this is my sixth video. Yeah, sixth video of the week. Wow, that's a lot. But thanks to everybody for tuning in and liking, sharing, and subscribing and all that cool stuff that you guys do. You guys are all rock stars to me. I appreciate it so much. If you, in this video anyway, if you ever are wondering like what kind of profits you can expect through mining crypto, this is going to be your type of video. Might give you some insight that you might have not found elsewhere. I see a lot of folks talking about getting into mining, and I see a lot of comments about new miners and things like that nowadays, probably because of the mining rewards that we're experiencing these days. I mean, if you just look on what to mine, I mean, things are absolutely insane as far as Ethereum mining goes. You can see it's so much higher than even the next one down, right? So and this is just for a RX 580 rig, which is one of our rigs that we're going to be talking about tonight. So yeah, mining rewards looking pretty solid. We are going to review, in this video, we're going to review the previous month. We're going to review a month of mining on the co-owned rigs this month. And it actually brought some pretty good surprises again this month. We've been hitting it out of the park about the last 3 months. Pretty good. So we are going to get into that. Let me check the chat, make sure everything's okay over there. Hey, what's up, Max? What's up, Anthony? Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Let me know if the sound and everything is good. If you're looking to stay up to date on promising proof of work projects, even though I don't really do those types of shows anymore as far as like new crypto projects, I probably will start doing some. I've done a little bit of content on Firo recently because of the 51% attack. I think I've got a video tomorrow about Firo also. So I went through that whole random coin mining show thing. Man, we covered so many. I never did count them up to see how many projects we actually covered, but it was a bunch. And, after doing all those videos, it kind of led me down the path of what to look at in solid projects and good projects. So it took me that long to kind of figure out that Ethereum was, top for a reason, right? As far as profitability and stuff like that goes. It took me a while to come to that realization, and I was still kind of looking for a project that could be, increase in value a lot quickly, something, like a spec mining type situation. But I learned, man, there are so many projects that are like, we're going to be the next global cryptocurrency. And every time I saw that, I'm like, what? Come on, man. You gotta bring something else to the table, something new and innovative and all that. You can't just say that you're going to be the next cryptocurrency or the next global currency, right? It's not going to work. So anyway, if you're interested in stuff like that and some crypto mining and networking how-tos, be sure to subscribe to my channel here and click the notification bell. Like this video, share this video, leave a comment down below, and let me know what projects you are mining or are interested in. Also, let me know what kind of video you would like to see me do. Like if you got a recommendation, I've got a Discord where I've got a recommendation channel in there also, I believe. And just hit me up and say, hey, I'd like to see a video on this. Sometimes I will oblige, not all the time, because sometimes it's like, I don't really want to do a video on whatever the person's asking, right? So occasionally, but I'll let them know, like, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. There has been several instances where someone asked me to do a video on something, and I literally did it that night or that next day. So, I'm pretty flexible when it comes to stuff like that. All right, let's get into it. I've rambled on enough. On June 19th of last year, we changed the co-owned rigs over to NiceHash and NiceHash OS, not just the mining to this, but we're actually using the operating system from NiceHash itself. This is actually the 7th month that we've been on NiceHash, and we've had quite a few months of pretty decent profitability. You all are probably well aware of the mining profitability lately, so it actually hasn't been that bad. These co-owned rigs have several owners. Basically, you can kind of look at it like a GPU hosting situation, although the rigs, were purchased as kind of like a whole unit and not just like, hey, here's my GPU, throw it in there. Although I guess, come to think of it, there was a little bit of that. I've got it all broken down in spreadsheets and stuff, so I just haven't really thought about it that much. But yeah, I guess it is more or less a GPU hosting situation. There were several people that just provided GPUs. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And we've had basically a whole year, a whole month of uptime. This was a really good month. And as far as the rigs go, the other, let's see, let me switch over to this. So the rig there at the top, that is Dagobah. That's the name of it. We always name our rigs after Star Wars. In the case of Kijimi, we named it after a settlement, not really a planet. But in the case of Dagobah and Mustafar, those are both Star Wars planets, just a way to name them and kind of identify them. But a couple years ago, a few of us put some money together and bought all the parts to build a couple of 8 GPU mining rigs. So you got Dagobah there on the top, and then in the middle there, the GTX 10 series cards, those are mine. And then at the very bottom is the ASRock Phantom Gaming X rig. That's another, you can't really see it because there's no LEDs or anything. There's no RGB on there at all. They're just pretty basic GPUs, but man, those things are just great for mining. They're kind of flimsy and not really well built, but man, they're just so reliable. I don't have any problems with that rig at all. Now, Dagobah, on the other hand, that thing is a mess. I mean, I'm replacing fans, I'm replacing thermal paste, I'm replacing... yeah, I've had one GPU go completely bad. It's got a hot spot on it, although it's still in the rig and it still mines just fine. So I'm letting it go. Yeah, so the total co-owned rigs that we have is 16 GPUs. So you can look at it as 16 hosted GPUs. They're all RX 580s. And we've had, like I was saying, we've had basically 100% uptime this month, other than like normal troubleshooting, rebooting a rig if it lost connection and stuff like that. It's been a really solid month. I didn't have to replace any Gigabyte fans, which is always a good thing because they seem to go bad one a month. One every couple months it seems that I'm replacing on there, on Dagobah. So yes, it's been pretty decent this month though. Yeah, solid, lots of uptime, and everything is going pretty well. I am pleased. And if you look at what to mine at all, you know that for AMD GPUs, especially RX 580s, and even NVIDIA GPUs nowadays, it seems like the NiceHash algo, the NiceHash Ethash algo, is always towards the top. Although recently, because of Ethereum's like boom that it's had the past month or so, it has been really pretty solidly outperforming NiceHash Ethash. This is the service where we're actually mining to this service, and this is where people buy the hash rate from the hash power from NiceHash. So we're just basically offering up our hash power from our 16 RX 580s to NiceHash. They're selling it and then giving us, a large portion. I know there's fees involved and all that stuff, but it's still very profitable per rig. I mean, you're looking at right now, $30 per rig a day before power, or I'm sorry, after power. So before power, and this has been pretty steady. I mean, I think it dropped down to like $12 or $13 last week. But yeah, it's been fluctuating maybe between 12 and 18, something like that. And this is just for an RX 580 rig. These cards are almost 3 years old. So I mean, that's pretty incredible. We're not really looking to upgrade at this point because this is pretty solid profitability off of older cards. I know that they consume a little bit more power than the newer generations, and we are 2 generations behind. So at some point, we probably will look at upgrading. Maybe we can't. Let's be completely honest. We cannot upgrade right now because I can't even get the GPUs. Even if I wanted to, some of you guys are getting GPUs here or there, but man, it has been insane with trying to acquire some hardware. I've been looking for GPUs for quite some time. I have not been successful, so it's probably good that we're just sticking with the 580s. I did pick up 11 of the P10690s. Those are really old cards. I think those are 4 years old. I did pick those up to mine Ethereum Classic with myself, not for the block ring group. Fix my camera a little bit here. It's a little bit. That looks a little bit better. All right, there we go. All right, so so pretty profitable. Still chugging right along here, even though it probably would have been better at least some portion of the month to go straight Ethereum, but there are reasons that I stick to NiceHash. One of the main reasons is just simplicity of being able to pay out the profits for the month, because everything is earned in BTC. You're not mining BTC, you're not mining Bitcoin, but you are getting paid out in Bitcoin. So it just works out so much better. It's easier. And I kind of look at it, okay, so this is $1 a day, and it does fluctuate. Sometimes, NiceHash will flip Ethereum, and it'll be more profitable for this rig. So if this was consistently $2 or $3 a day more, then yeah, obviously I would say, all right, let's switch over to straight Ethereum and go for it that way. But like I said, it's not worth the trouble at this point. I don't think. They're pretty close. So this is Dagobah. This is one of our rigs, and then Mustafar is this one. Basically, it's the same. It's 2 RX 580s. Now I could probably come in here and modify the actual hash rate, because I've got them monitored in HiveOS. So this is where I actually monitor the rigs. It's these two right here. So you got Dagobah and Mustafar. So I could plug in, okay, 234.8. We could go with the power plus at the wall and all that stuff, to find out the true profitability here. But again, that's only right this second, so this is ballpark. It's always been ballpark. You're not going to always get the same hash rate and always get the same payout. Profitability down here, it fluctuates, constantly. So this is literally just right this second, and it's pretty close. 241 right here. What was it at over here? 234. So it's a little bit less. I do have these tuned down just a tad. They're not hitting. I don't think that they're hitting full. Yeah, see, they're like 29, where they could get 31, but whenever they get up that high, the efficiency goes down so much that I just leave it like this. Plus, decreasing the power draw a little bit, decreasing the noise in the room here, because those rigs are right, in the same room, and basically in the closet over there right behind me. So yeah, cool stuff. All right, so we'll get on all this a little bit more here. Flip back over to NiceHash. Okay, so let me see here. So this is the dashboard for NiceHash, and we are on the Dagobah rig. So you can see right here, this is the profitability for 1 month. Not profitability, but the earnings for 1 month. This is not including power cost. Okay, so this is one rig, one RX 580 rig, and I'm stressing this a lot because this is the first time I've seen numbers like that. I think that in 2017 it was kind of a thing for an RX 580 rig, maybe even more than that. But since we've had these rigs, we have not had a month like that. That's huge. Largely because of Bitcoin's price going up, and Ethereum itself because of the earnings and all that stuff. So it all works together to get us to this point, which is solid, really solid. So the way I have this broke down is I have a spreadsheet here, and you can see that we're talking about Dagobah first, this rig over here, and there's only 2 owners of this one, me and one other person. So you can see the the breakdown here, how much we put in, how much the rigs cost whenever we built it. So this is a $2,800 rig basically, and here's the hardware. So the hardware is the frame is a Veta frame now. It's a 6 GPU Veta frame. I moved them from an 8 GPU rig frame to save a little bit of space. I felt like I could get the GPUs a little bit closer and still be okay heat wise, and it's not too bad. So I decreased a little bit of footprint and still had the same number of GPUs, which is 8. So the motherboard is the H110 Pro BTC Plus. That's the 13 GPU version. CPU Pentium 4400. Memory Viper Elite Patriot. Storage, I'm using, I think on this rig I'm probably using a different thumb drive, but that's not really too important. I think I've got a 64 gig Samsung on there now. Power supply, I've got a Focus 850 desktop Platinum, and then also have the server power supply, the HP 1200 Platinum as well. Breakout board, power cables, power splitters, all that cool stuff. I do have a monitor, a smart Wi-Fi plug for monitoring the power, so that we can get really down granular with how much it costs to run the rigs, which helps with, you know, paying for the power, paying enough for the power, because it's one of the things that a lot of miners underestimate is like how much, you know, power is this actually taking. You know, if you have one rig and you're just a hobby miner, you might not even notice it on your utility bill. You know, you might, it just depends, but for the most part you could probably get away with one rig without noticing too much. But you start getting 4 rigs, 5 rigs, you're gonna definitely notice it on your power bill. So it's really good to have monitoring and be able to know exactly how much your rig is pulling, even though, you know, the operating system that you use, if you use like HiveOS or something like that, it does have power draw on here. You can see, you know, how much the total rig draws down here. You can kind of see that, but that's not at the wall, right? That's just the rig and what it thinks it's pulling. Now, I think I did plug in some numbers to, because there's like under settings, you can go in there and basically tell it how much your motherboard, memory, processor draws. So like you put in like 175 watts or 200, and then that'll add to this number here so that you can get kind of accurate. But for the most part, you really need smart energy power monitoring so that you can actually see how much power the rig is using per month. In our case, that's what we needed to do. So yeah, you can see the uptime here. I think this is only yeah, this is only like 3, I think this is 3 days or maybe 1 day of stats or something. But anyway, you can see it's got some uptime. I don't know what these little gaps here are. Interesting. Might have to look into that. But yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. We are going to continue on here. So we're gonna end. Oh, for the GPUs, Gigabyte has the Gigabyte Aorus Radeon RX 580s, the 8GB version. These cards, you can't find them nowadays because everybody's buying them up as soon as they hit the market. I think that these cards values are, I think on eBay they're north of $300 each. If I think that's what I last saw whenever I looked. So yeah, it's just insane. Okay, so there's 8 of those, and let's go ahead and look at the monthly report. So this is what I break down and plug it in. There's formulas in here for calculating all the data. So let's get to that part. I'm going to check the chat real quick, see what you guys are chatting about. What is going on, everybody over here? Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Got a few questions. You guys, you know what? I need to make Max. Let me make Max a moderator here. He's always in here, so do that. Max, you can answer some questions now. Actually, you could before anyway, but I think I want to say that you're a moderator now, so that'll work out pretty well. Crypto Mikhail's in here too, and he's a moderator. Okay, so I just want to make sure I had a couple moderators in there. A couple mods. Yeah, there you go. 350 each, Michael Scott, for the RX 580s. Yeah, it's insane. It's literally insane what we're seeing on the GPU market, used market, and everything. It's crazy, crazy. All right, so let's get back to the spreadsheet here. We're on Dagobah. I'm going to break them down per line. So we're going to go to NiceHash. That's where we were at for the whole month. We were on NiceHash over here. We are on Dagobah. You can see the D over here. So that's the organization that we're on. 449.44. And I'm going to click on this right here. I'm going to show you. I mean, there's other. I think there's stats. Like if you went. See, let's check this out here. I don't know if this shows. See, it's unmanaged because it's just mining to this from. Oh, you know what? That's true. I said earlier that we were using NiceHash OS, but we're not. We're using Hive OS. Yeah, okay. So we're using Hive OS and mining to NiceHash. Okay, yeah, I kind of messed that up earlier. All right, so if we go to like history and stats, you can see the payouts and whatnot, so that we can, you know, you could get in here and get really granular and figure out what it was per day and all that stuff. Not going to worry about that too much. You can export it. A lot of cool features in here for you figuring stuff out. Don't really need to do that. But what we do need to find out is how much we mined for the month. So the current actual profitability looks like $15, which is pretty close to what to mine was saying. So I like to see that. I like to see consistency between NiceHash and what to mine. The unpaid mining balance, this is just what's sitting there waiting to get paid out. And then the BTC wallet balance, this is what we have for the whole month. Right? I don't know if I can copy and paste this. I do this every month. I always forget if I'm going to be able to do that. But anyway, so this is what's sitting there waiting for the month, because every month we do payouts and we get all of the money, all the BTC out of here. So it starts over fresh. So the amount mined in 30 days is... All right, there we go. That worked. So that's the amount that we mined. Now, what is the value of Bitcoin? Look at these numbers. This is so crazy. Just in October, you know, 12,000, November 18,000, December 23,000. Okay, so we're going to go to CoinGecko, do a refresh here, see where we're at. We're at 34,637. We're going to plug that into the sheet here. Values only. And then you see how it basically matches. Okay, that's pretty close to the total value. And we'll have to do power and all that stuff, but you can see how it filled this out because of the formulas that are in here. And you can kind of compare it to previous months and see where we're at, see where we're standing. I mean, this is 286 last month, was a really awesome month. Then we had 313. This just totally blows those away. So now we have to look at power. Okay, so I've got the app on my phone here. Get that up and running so I can show you that. And this is going to show us, this is Casa is the name of the app. It's TP-Link. And see if this is going to show on here. I don't know if it'll focus on there. Maybe. There we go. So you see Dagobah up here. So it is broken down. I have one power monitoring per PSU, per power supply, because the way that things are set up with the with my PDU and everything, I couldn't separate it out. So I had to do it this way. So if we click on, let's go to the main PSU first, and then down here, little pie chart down here, and then it's going to show us the power that's drawn right now, and then also the power that's drawn for the whole month. So those are the numbers that we will plug into the spreadsheet. So the PSU 1 is 114 kilowatt hours. And you can see that's actually more than the previous month. So more uptime is how that can kind of make sense for you, you know. And then For the PSU2, I'm going to go back and back, and then go to the server PSU here, there. All right, you got 1110, and then that's what's currently drawing. And then down there is the 30-day. So 721 on the 30-day for the month. We're going to plug that in. 721. And then everything will be filled out. It'll tell you how much you paid for power. I pay 10.3 cents per kilowatt hour. So you can see that's with taxes and fees and all the crazy stuff that they add in there. So it was $86 for running this rig for the month. 86 bucks. The total electric due is right here. Total points for electric. So that just, I have this in here so it's easier for me to, send BTC basically to myself to pay for the power, right? And then the profit for the 30 days is $353. Total coins earned. So now what happens is I go over here to back to NiceHash, and then I'm going to actually do a withdrawal. So I'm going to click on value up here. There's a lot of different ways of getting there. You can click there, or you can click like right here, I think. Yeah, like you can click there. Lots of different ways of getting there. But anyway, I'm going to go to withdraw, and then I'm going to withdraw to the Zelcore wallet, which is where we initially go to. So we bring the crypto into here, and then from here is where I distribute it to the different owners, break out the profit for them based on their percentage of ownership in the spreadsheet. Remember this over here. So broken down like that. So in this case, we're talking Dagobah. There's only 2 people that own it. So it'll be broken, the profits will be broken down by these percentages. Now I've got a chart on another spreadsheet down here that I actually do that on. I'm not going to show you that part. Okay, so we are going to, let me get back over here. I do this every time. I think, because I normally open this up in Google Chrome, so I'm not used to it being in the same set of tabs here, so that's why I keep doing that. All right, so we're going to go back to the wallet. We're going to use max for the withdrawal. Tells you the processing time. The fee looks like it's $1.90 right now. Not too bad. And we're going to well, what we should do is double check the address, right, before we do that. So if we go to BTC over here, receive, kind of give it a once over here, and then verify that that is the same as this address here. I mean, I did copy and paste it in there, and this is stored in there, and I've used it before, but I'm just showing you like a procedure that you might want to use to, do your withdrawals and stuff. So use max, review, I understand, address looks good, still here, and then withdraw. All right, so we can go and view that. I'll bring that up. I don't want to go there. Okay, so now eventually this will come out of here. You'll see once it gets some confirmations and stuff. It usually doesn't take too long, maybe 30 minutes to an hour or something like that, I believe. So that pretty much sums it up for that particular rig. Now we need to move on to the next one. The next one is Mustafar. Let's go and see how it performed compared to, not really compared to, because it's 2 different types of GPUs. Not types, but 2 different brands of GPUs. But we can go over here and, oh, got error here. Okay, this is showing the withdrawal request. Okay, so we're going to come over here. We're going to go to the Mustafar. So it looks like maybe it was a little bit more. Am I reading that right? Yeah, a tad bit more. Mustafar, $10 maybe more, something like that. So similar hardware. It's definitely got all the same overclocks, all that stuff. It just performs just slightly better. Now I don't know power wise, it's probably consuming a little bit more power, so we'll figure that out in a minute. But same deal here. Going to click on the value here, click on the wallet here. Actually, I think I can hit this. Yeah, see, there's lots of different ways you can get there. So if you just click on it, then you get the withdraw button here. So I'm going to withdraw that. Actually, you know what I should do? Let me go and figure out the number here. So this is the total Bitcoin that we mined for this month with Mustafar. So let's go back over here and plug that into the spreadsheet. And then the value, we're going to use the same value, even though it might not have changed. It might have changed a little bit, but I like using the same values here. Kind of seems more fair. All right, so now 447, pretty close, a couple dollars off. So now we're going to go to the Mustafar rig on the app here, because we got to figure out our power. So we're back on the app, and you got Mustafar main down here. We're going to go to that one. And then the 30-day over here. So you got 301 because there's a GPU sitting on that desktop PSU as well. Mustafar doesn't have that, I don't think. So the way it's configured, this one uses a little bit more per day. So then you got 212 for the total consumption for the month for the desktop power supply on Mustafar. We're going to put that in here, 212. And then on the server PSU, Mustafar server PSU down there. And you got 30-day. So you see that there's only 832 watts being used right now, only 594 for the whole month. So compared to the other one, the other rig, you can see that this one has a little bit different hardware configuration because it's got a GPU or two GPUs, possibly two, on the desktop PSU. All right, so we're going to plug that in there, 594. All right, so there we go. Looking pretty solid here. And so you can compare the two rigs. If you added up both of them, well, we got 8, 34, 7, 8, 12, so they're really super close in the total power, if you add up this number and this number between both of them. All right, and then you got the total electric cost for the 30 days was only 83, so $3 less than Dagobah. And then it's all broken down like this. So you got 364.78 on the profit side. And then we need to go and do the withdrawal. Do that. And I copied and pasted that in there, setting up this account, so I know that that's good. $1.88. The fee went up a little bit. So 445 is what should be coming. All right, so there we go. So that should be coming into this wallet here, and you can see some of it is already starting to show up. That was from the first transaction, from Dagobah probably. Yep. So you can see this now from once everything gets in here, I'll disperse the profits, pay for the electricity, and disperse the profits to the owners of the rigs and GPUs based on this percentage over here. So Mustafar has 6 different owners, and it's broken down like this. Basically, if you see like down here, owner 3 here has 2 GPUs is basically what this comes down to. We paid $299.99 for those RX 580s a few years ago, but this particular rig here, that GPU was a combo deal that came with a motherboard. And the motherboard was worth about $70 at the time. So, while it looks like a lot, it was a combo deal. And some of us sold the motherboards, some of us used the motherboards. So that's why it looks like this. $299 is a lot for a RX 580, even back then. But obviously now with the mining craze in full swing, we are seeing that price and higher now for RX 580s. So yeah. I think we are actually done with the stream. I'm going to head over to chat and see what you guys are talking about over here. See if anything is going on. leave this up. I'll check the chat and see what is up. Yeah, Max, I agree. I like Firo, even though they got 51%. Not their fault. I mean, it's not it's par for the course. It's what happens to smaller projects with lower hash rate. ETC and Raven. I saw there was actually a tweet today, or a story on, I think it was on Cointelegraph. I want to say it was from today. It was really cool because years ago, if you were here for like the mining profits and stuff, we're done with that. We'll probably just talk and talk about other stuff now. So if you want to get out of here, you can. If you're done with, if you were only here for the mining profit part of it, because now we're just going to probably move on into just talking about some regular old stuff for a few minutes. But there was this article, I think it was on Cointelegraph. I sent it to Serpent Special Forces because Serpent X Special Forces, because probably a year, I think it was it last summer? I don't know exactly when it was, but he and I did a series of videos on the possibility of using Ravencoin for, and it was whenever they released rewards and restricted assets, so you're able to basically create tokens on the Ravencoin network, whatever you wanted. Like I've got SavageMine tokens, he's got Serpent X Special Forces tokens, Brandon Coin's got tokens, Red Panda Mining's got his own token on the Ravencoin network. So it was during that time that they were just launching that part of it. It might have been at the end. I'm so bad with time frames, especially with the vid, that was going on last year. This last year has been so fast. It has been insane. Yesterday I played racquetball with a guy that I had played with pretty regular, and he said that we haven't played in a year, almost a year. And I was like, no way, dude. And he was like, no, we played last February. I was like, oh my gosh. Because it seems like, it seemed like I just saw him like not that long ago. I knew that it had been some time, but I was thinking maybe a couple months. But no. It's been 11 months. So insane. All right, so, but yeah, back to the whole Ravencoin thing. So he and I did a series of videos back and forth on creating this token for a automobile on the Ravencoin network, and then being able to track, like you would be able to track like a, what did we call it? We called it like a program that you could be enrolled in, like a warranty or some type of VIP. I think that's what it was called, was like a VIP token. You could be issued, if you paid the fee, you could be issued this VIP token that had your VIN number of your car in there, and it was transferable and all this stuff anyway. And and if you had that token, if you could prove that you own the car, then you could get certain rewards for owning the car. And it was, I think we did it for S209. I'm not a car guy, so I don't remember what all it was about, but really cool. But it was basically tokenizing a vehicle, which you can do on a blockchain on Ravencoin's network. And this article from Cointelegraph was about that, about some company was starting to do that, was tracking their maintenance and all that stuff. Because think about it, if you were to track maintenance of a vehicle on a blockchain, immutable ledger, right, then you there's none of this like rolling back the odometer like they used to do, right? There's no denying that some service was done. I mean, obviously there's a disconnect between the blockchain and the real world. I get it totally, but you can, if you have the people that are allowed to write to that token, then they can update the ledger with what maintenance you had done, what your oil change, your mileage, all that stuff. I mean, I'm just thinking really quick off the top of my head. There's probably a ton of other things. Because I think that in our little scenario that we created for Serpent X, I believe that we had, like, if you had like custom parts, I'd have to go back and look, but that's something else that you could track. Like if you upgrade, like if you did an upgrade to your car, you could change it on the blockchain to reflect that. It was just really cool. So it was really amazing to see. I mean, it's probably almost 2 years later, a year and a half at least, someone had taken that idea. It wasn't really our idea. I'm just saying that someone had come up with the idea of doing that. Maybe if I remember the article, I know I sent it to him in Twitter. I'm not going to bring up my direct messages or anything like that for you guys to see. But, so it, I'll put it in the description if I remember to do that. All right. Oh, wow. Fire Marshal Bill, love that guy. He says that they are using VeChain to track COVID tests. Oh, you're going to mess me up. I said the vid. I think you can say it nowadays. Not get in trouble. Isn't that crazy? Let's see. What else is going on over here? Yeah, I did it. Max, I did a lot of spec mining, looking around for really awesome projects, and like I said at the top, I just kept running into literally a whole bunch of nothing, a whole bunch of we're going to be the next best whatever, and it was something that has already been done 1,000 times or at least a few hundred times over. So it was really frustrating. It got frustrating towards the end. That's why I stopped doing it. The other reason I stopped doing it the reason I started doing it was not only to find really cool projects, and whenever I say doing it, I'm talking about the Random Coin Mining Show. So it was every weeknight, 9:30. We would do a new coin every night, mining from. It was literally random. So I would run. I forgot how I did it. I had a spreadsheet of a list of all the coins, and then we would run it through a random number generator, and then that's which one we would do that night. And funny story though, I actually discovered Conceal during that. I had seen them before the Random Coin Mining Show, and I really wanted to land on them, but one time we actually did, and I was like, all right, this is cool. Now I get to go and look into that project a little bit more, and kind of cool little side story there. But anyway, so after all that, doing that random, we would randomly pick a project, and we would go from researching it briefly all the way through hopefully mining it. Obviously, we ran into problems pretty often, especially with the really small projects. Like there was a time there where we were doing a lot of them that didn't even have a mining pool, right? So there wasn't a way of doing any kind of testing because it was basically a dead project. That happened pretty frequently. Then I got smart and I started doing the random part of it before, 5 minutes before, 15 or 30 minutes before the show. That way I could at least find out if that project had a pool before we wasted a whole bunch of people's time tuning in, and then only to find out that they didn't even have a pool and there was no way to even test it. So that's the story on the Random Coin Mining Show. It was fun. It was awesome. But it just got towards the end. Oh, the other side effect of it. See how my brain works? I'm like freaking scatterbrain. The other side effect of it was that people thought that I was shilling these projects that we landed on. And I had to keep telling them in chat or in the comments, I'm like, no, this was random. This is not me saying you should mine this coin. Like people were like, why would you tell people to mine this coin? No. That's not what this is about. It's also, another cool side effect of it was learning how to mine all the different algorithms, setting up overclocks for a lot of different algorithms, all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of pluses and minuses, but I think at the time the minuses kind of just started outweighing the pluses. So that's why I said, that's it. I'm basically mining Ethereum and Ethereum Classic these days. And I'm only mining Ethereum Classic because of the GPUs that I have are the 3 gig. I bought some, I got a really straight up killer deal on these GPUs. It was right after ETC forked to ETC hash, new algo, that was able to be mined on 3 gig cards. Actually 2 gig, 3 gig, because I think it started out at 2.4 gig DAG, right? I think. So it was literally that night or the day after they forked. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and check. I checked on some profitability. I checked on how it should work. I was speculating on what the hash rate was going to be in the end and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna go and look for some P106 90 3 gig cards and see what I can get them for. And I looked on eBay. There's one dude that was selling. He had hundreds of them, I believe, at the time, and they were 30. I want to say it was 34. I think on the sheet I put 39. I think they were 34. He was selling them for $34.95 each, plus, you know, obviously if you bought a bundle of them, you know, the shipping cost was down. I think the shipping was like $10, but not per card. I think he only charged me one shipping. It might have been more than that. It might have been $20, but nonetheless, it was, you know, all included. So I got 11 of them. One of them ended up being bad, or it went bad after I got it because it was mining fine, and then that's the one that went bad, and I don't know what's wrong with it. Any rig that I put it in, it crashes it. It might mine for a few minutes, and then it'll just crash the rig and not even let it recover. It like locks it up. It's a weird thing. So yeah. So I got a really good deal. Those GPUs are now over $100 each if you try to find them now. A P10690, which is a 3 gig card from way back when. It's a mining card. Doesn't have any outputs, no video outputs or anything like that. And that is it. So I don't think I have a video of it. Let's see. No, I don't. Well, maybe. Let's see here. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Nope. Alright, yeah, I don't. I thought maybe I had a video. I think I might have a picture of it somewhere. But anyway, I've done a video on it. It's on my channel. We can head over there and look around. It is actually right here. One GPU crashes my rig. It was from this week, 2 days ago. So if you want to learn about that, you can check it out there. It was fun trying to get that thing troubleshot and figure out what exactly was going on with it. I did a lot of tests. I took the GPU, threw it in that rig right there in the middle, the 10 series rig, threw it in there temporarily, and it did the same exact symptom on that rig. And basically the symptom was in Hive OS, and yes, I tried other OSs as well, and it failed on them as well. In Hive OS, it would, for the name of the GPU, it would put it in brackets, right? And then it would have some other random characters like after it. And it would just crash. It would just crash the rig. It would go zero hash rate, and then I think it would go zero hash rate first, and then eventually all of them would, because it would like crash the miner and then lock the rig up. I couldn't get into it. If I had a video output like on the DVI, the motherboard DVI, it wouldn't have any output or anything. It was not good. Chancoin, no, I have not tested out the actual slot numbering of the ASRock board. I do have a printout that I've had from years ago whenever I first started using those cards that it was, you would think that they would be in order, but like 0 is the 16X, 1 is the first black PCIe 1X, you know, then 2, 3, 4, 5, the next ones in a row, and then it was I think it goes 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 7, 8. I know it sounds crazy, but you know, in this video, I'm actually talking about that. I'm actually talking about the organization and what my thought process was for swapping them out. Because this rig here, I ended up swapping the motherboard because I thought it was the motherboard at first. So I swapped it out with this second rig, the 10 series rig, the NVIDIA rig right there. And I actually swapped the motherboard with Kajimi, the top rig, which you can't really see. And the reason I did that is because this rig is only 6 GPUs, and I had 6 known good PCIe slots, 1X, well actually the 0, the 16X also. So I was like, you know, I'll just take the rig. I know that this GPU, this motherboard is good. I know that all the ports work, all the PCIe slots work, so I swapped the motherboard, and then I later found out that it was actually just that GPU. So I don't know if maybe I still have a problem with that motherboard or not. I don't know. I need to put like a, that thing's like a bad penny. It just won't go away. I need to put like a sticker on it or something so that I know, like, hey, this is the one that is potentially bad. It's got some of the PCIe slots that don't work. So I need to do that. Hey, what's up, good guy biker? What is going on? I don't know a lot about FPGAs. There are other people in here. I think good guy biker might be one that do a lot with FPGAs. I do not. All right, but I think that is going to be it for me, guys. I got to get out of here. It's 10:21. This video is way long enough. But if you thought that this was entertaining or useful information, maybe I helped you in some way, be sure to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you stay up to date with all this crypto mining nonsense that we have to deal with. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow is Thursday. I'm going to try to get a video out during the day like I've been doing this week. And we'll also do the live stream tomorrow night, and we'll be good to go. If you want to see, I just noticed this right here. If you want to see some live 3D printing, head over to, that looks cool. This thing was like way down here. It was really small earlier today. So this has been going for 12 hours. So it's showing an actual 3D printing situation here. So this is Dan of Dane. He's a longtime supporter of the channel here. So go and check him out if you can. If you want to see some live 3D printing, pretty neat. It's somewhat, it's soothing to go and watch stuff like that happen. Really neat. Yeah, so go and check that out. All right, I am going to get out of here, guys. I will see you next time. See you tomorrow night. Stay savage, everybody.